Hello students, welcome to the online lecture series of St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. Myself Satyendra Vats, Assistant Professor in ETC Department. In this lecture, we will see the basics of synchronous and asynchronous counter, which is a part of Unit 2nd of LOC2 in BCA semester 2nd. Here are counters. So, counter is basically a digital circuit that is used to count pulses. It is used for counting pulses. So, in our course, we have two types of counters, that is asynchronous counters and synchronous counters. So, asynchronous counters are also called a ripple counter, that we will see in the lecture. So first is an asynchronous counter. What is the difference between asynchronous and synchronous counters? So as we have learned about shifters, shift registers, we used flip-flops in these shifters to store bit of informations. To store more than one bit of informations, we used shift registers. So we have already seen how we used flip-flops in shift registers to store more than one bit of information. Similarly, counters would use flip-flops as well to count the number of pulses. Okay, so asynchronous counter. In asynchronous counter, we applied clock to the first, as you can see in the picture diagram. We will apply clock to the first flip-flop and the clocks to the subsequent flip-flops would come from the output of the previous flip-flop. So we will provide only external clock to the first flip-flop only, while in a synchronous flip-flop all the flip-flops get the clock pulse simultaneously, that is this one. So all the flip-flops get the clock pulse simultaneously, whereas in asynchronous counter, what we have seen, we have applied only clock to the first flip-flop only. So this is the basic difference between asynchronous and synchronous counter. Okay, like we have already learned about the ring counters. Like we have applied the synchronous pulse in ring counters as well. You must have seen that in the last lecture. Okay, so this is one of the classification, and depending upon the way in which we enter the data into the counter, these counters can be classified further into three subcategories, that is up counter, down counter and up down counter, that can count from both sides. Up counter will count starting from 0 1 2 3 in this order, while down counter will count in inverse form. Like if we have a 4-bit counter, that is if we have a 2-bit counter, that is 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So it will count from, if it is a up counter, it will count from 0 to 3, and if we have a down counter, then it will count from 3 to 1 0, this way. And in the up down counter, we can use the counter in both ways, that is it can count from 0 to 3 and it can count also from 3 to 0, that we will see how in the next lecture. But in this lecture we will see the up counters and down counters. Okay, so up counters are the counters that count from the small to big count, that is we have seen in 0 to 3, or if it is a 3-bit counter, then it will count from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1, that is 0 to 7. If it is a down counter, it will count inversely. Okay, so how many flip-flops would we require in a asynchronous? First of all, we will see the asynchronous or the ripple counter. So how many flip-flop we would require to make a counter? So it would depend on the number of bits we wanted to count. Like if it is a 3-bit number, that is 0 to 7, then we would require 3 flops for each bit. So we would require, as we need 3 bits to be counted, so we would require 3 flip-flops in that counter that counts from 0 to 7. Okay, so first of all let us start from a 2-bit ripple up counter. That is, we want to count, if we are given 2 bits, so there are only 4 cases possible: 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So 0 0 would become 0 in decimal equivalent, it is 1, it is 2, and it is 3. So how this will count? Okay, so now 2-bit ripple counter, we can use any flip-flop. Like in this I have used a T flip-flop. We can use JK flip-flop as well. So external clock is applied to the, since it is a asynchronous counter, external clock pulse will be applied to the first flip-flop in this. So as you can, I have applied the clock to the first flip-flop, and the logic 1 is given to both the flip-flop as input. Initially all of them were 0 and 0. Now I have applied the logic 1 to both the inputs TA and TB, and the clock is applied to the first flip-flop only. So what would happen in this case? As I have applied the clock to the first flip-flop, okay, so we can see in the operation here, initially the flip-flops are in reset condition, that is QA and QB both are 0 0. As we have we can see that it is a negative edged triggered clock, so the output or the next state would change with on the negative edge. Now we have applied 1 1 logic to both the flip-flops, so what would happen? As you can see, on first edge TA becomes 1 and the QA would become 1. This QA would become 1 as we have applied logic 1. So since we have applied the clock edge or clock to the first flip-flop only, it will reflect at QA. So QA become 1 but QB continues to be 0. Okay, so as we have the count QA QB, so QA becomes 1 and QB remains 0, that is it has changed from 0 0 to 0 1, that is from 0 to 1 if we talk about decimal equivalent. Okay, so now what happens if the on the next edge, that is at the second edge, so on this what would happen? On the second edge the flip-flop A will toggle again to make QA is equal to 0, and this change in QA from 1 to 0 as the negative edge comes at flip-flop B, therefore QB now becomes 1. So what is happened? 0 0 to 0 1. Now QA becomes 0 and QB becomes 1. This, sorry, as you can see, QA QB initially 0 0 at first negative edge, this becomes 1, this remains 0. At second edge, this becomes 1 and this remains 0. Now on the third falling edge, what would happen? Both of them would become 1. So our 2-bit ripple counter has counted from 0 to 1, 2, 3 in 3 edges. So at the fourth negative edge, it will again become 0. So that is why it is called a ripple counter. Okay, so this is how a 2-bit ripple counter up counter would work. Here we can see the timing diagrams of the same, that at the first stage QA becomes 1 and QB remains 0. At the second edge, QA becomes 0 and QB becomes 1. At the third edge, QA again becomes 1 and QB remains 1, that is 1, 1. So this is the timing diagram. You can always make the timing diagram from your transition table. It changes from 0 to 1, then 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, and again 3 to 0. Okay, so now let's see 3-bit asynchronous up counter. This was a 2-bit counter. Now let's see a 3-bit counter as well. So in 3-bit counter, we would require 3 flip-flops. In this case, I have used 3 JK flip-flops. Okay, so it since it is a up counter, we would provide the clock to the first flip-flop, and subsequently the output of first flip-flop will go to the clock of second, and the output of second goes to the clock of third. Okay, and we will see how can we use this intermediate clocks to convert it to convert this counter up counter to a down counter as well. So this is what would happen in this counter. Let's see. Initially we have 0 0 in all the counters. After first negative edge, QA becomes 1 and others remains 0. Now at the second falling edge, QB becomes 1 and QA becomes 0 and QC remains 0. So it has changed from 0 to 1 at first stage, then to 2, that is 2 means 0 1 0 at the next falling edge, then it converts to 3, that is 0 1 1, and this is how it would go on. Okay, so it would count from 0 to 7 and then from 7 to 0. Since we are using 3 flip-flops, so it would be it would help us to count from 0 to 7. So the operation is same as we have seen in the 2-bit asynchronous up counter. Since it is a 3-bit, it would count from 0 to 7. Okay, if you want to make a 4-bit counter, it will count from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1 1, that is it would be 15. It would count from 0 to 15 if it was a 4-bit up counter. Okay, or if it was a down counter, it would count from 15 to 0. So this is how it goes. So next, this is the timing diagram. You can easily make it. This is the timing diagram. At the first falling edge, QA becomes 0 and all others would remain. QA becomes 1 and all others subsequent flip-flops remains 0. At the second edge, QA becomes 0 and QB becomes 1, whereas QC remains 0, and that is how it will go on. You can easily make the timing diagrams according to your transition table, or how the clock is changing the output of subsequent flip-flops. Okay, now let's see the down counter, asynchronous down counter. It will count from the highest value to the lowest count, that is it will count in reverse mode. If we are using a 3-bit counter, it will count from 7 to 0. Okay, if we are using 3-bit, it will count from 111 to 000, that is from 7 to 6, and then finally to 0, and then again 0 to 7. Okay, so this is the table QA, QB, QC outputs. So all are initially 1 in this case in down counter, and subsequently it will count to 0 at every negative edge. It will down by 1, 7 to 6 at first stage, then 6 to 5 at the second edge, and so on. Since it is a down counter, there is a some change in the designing part of the counter. Let's see how can we convert a up counter into a down counter with some little modification in the circuit. So here is the down counter which I have implemented using 3 JK flip-flops, as we are required to count 3 bits. Okay, so here we can see in the diagram I have used 3 flip-flops. Logic 1 is again applied to both the inputs, as it is a JK flip-flop, has 2 inputs, so we have applied. And as it is the asynchronous counter, I have applied clock to the first flip-flop A. So where is the change? The change is in the intermediate clocks, which are generated by one flip-flop and feeding to the clock of second flip-flop. So here we can see in the picture, there we are providing this clock from the complemented output. Okay, complemented output, while in the up counter we were providing this clock from the true output, that is uncomplemented form. But in down counter we will provide the count from the intermediate clock from the complemented output of flip-flop. That is the only difference in the designing of a up counter and the down counter. So in down counter, flip-flop A will toggle at every edge of clock pulse. So we have seen the JK flip-flops truth table. What would happen if we provide 1 1? If J is 1 and K is 1, the output would toggle. That is, if it was Q, then it would become Q bar on applying J and K both equal to 1. So initially all the flip-flops have 0 stored in them. Okay, it is a 3-bit counter, so all the bits are 0 0. On the first negative edge, what would happen? The pulse arrive at the flip-flop A, and the output QA will become 1, and QA bar becomes, what would happen to the QA bar? It becomes 0. So QA becomes 1 and QA bar becomes 0. So that QA bar act as a clock, since we are using clock from the complemented one. So this QA bar, that is 0, will act as a clock for the flip-flop B. Hence flip-flop B will change its state. Therefore QB becomes 1 and QB bar becomes 0. So similarly, what would happen at the first negative edge? What would we get? At the first negative edge we get 1 1 1. So it will start from 7, as all the outputs QA, QB and QC becomes 1. And on the second negative edge, what would happen? This output will become, that it is QA, QB, QBC. So 1 1, this one becomes 0 at the next negative edge. Then what would happen? This becomes 0, so it would be 1 0 1, that is 5. 7 to 6, 6 to 5, and how it will go on from from 7 to 0, and then if we provide another negative edge, then it would become 7 again. So this is how it will work, the down counter. Here we can see the timing diagrams of the down counter, which you can easily make using, this is our clock pulse. This is our clock pulse. Initially all of them were 0. So at the first, as we have seen, as the first negative edge arrives, all of them will become 1. All of them will become 1. And at the second negative edge, this one goes to 0, that is Q8 goes to 0, and QB and QC remains 1. So this is how it goes on till the last count. Okay, I hope you understand the counters, asynchronous and synchronous counters, and how we can make up counter and down counter using a slight variation in the clock pulse. So thank you students for listening to me. Thank you very much.